What's going on, Wholesale to Freedom family? So what I did is I created a motivational video kind of to touch up on everything in the current situation and economic status of today's world, and I wanted to do this motivation video. It was an Instagram exclusive video, but I'm going to go ahead and post it here on YouTube for you guys to view. I got a lot of positive feedback, so I wanted to share it with you, and it's going to be unedited, just because I just wanted you to get the impact of it being, raw and real. So let me know what you all think in the comments. Be sure to subscribe down below, and we'll see you in the next one. What's going on, Instagram family? So I'm doing an exclusive Instagram video, this video right here, and I felt with the way things are right now, it kind of needs to be said, and it's just my own opinion. I consider myself to be somebody who is a influencer slash life coach and slash real estate investor. I look up to Tony Robbins, people like him, Jim Rohn, Eric the hip hop preacher, all these motivational guys. I kind of look up to them, and so I feel like I wouldn't be doing my part if I didn't mention my own 2 cents on everything that's going on right now. So, but let's get right into it. So, with everything happening and the post I made, I kind of wanted to explain that and kind of touch up on that a little bit more. So this is my own 2 cents. This is my opinion based off my life experiences. So this isn't a shot at anyone, any particular group, ethnicity, whatever it may be. This is to everybody who's on the path to either financial freedom, entrepreneurship, or maybe it's just finding out who you really are and finding out what your purpose is in life. So for me, at least, I find that it's impossible for me to say you don't know anything that I'm going through, and what you're going through is nothing compared to what I'm going through. Whenever I'm explaining a problem or maybe a situation that I'm handling, and my cat's in the background, but so if I'm handling a situation and I tell you, you don't know anything about this, you'll never understand. Yeah, I mean, my problems are greater than yours, then chances are you're not going to listen to me, right? And chances are you're going to realize that I don't know what I'm talking about very, very quickly. And so it would be ignorant for me to say even my problems are worse than your problems. So what I'm getting at with that is, I don't know what it's like to be black. I don't know what it's like to be Asian. I don't know what it's like to be Latino. I don't know. I do know what it's like to be white, and I do know what it's like to be in entrepreneurship and the struggles that are involved with that and in trying to achieve financial freedom. I do know the struggles that are associated with creating videos like this to help more people, and so that way I can help more people, and that's the end goal for me. And so I don't know what those things are and what they are like, but I do also know that life does not discriminate. It's going to throw challenges at you either way. It doesn't matter what color you are, where you come from, what city or place you grew up in. It's going to challenge you just as equally as somebody else. And again, for me to say my problems or my challenges are worse than yours is not fair. We all have our own life experiences, and we all have our own knowledge that we gain from those experiences. So for me to say anything that's comparing one to another, it's just not fair to myself especially, but it's not fair to others either, because they might be going something that challenges them in a whole different way. So for a majority of Americans, public speaking is the biggest fear that they have, and that might be the equivalent of me skydiving or something, you know what I mean? So for me to say, oh, public speaking is nothing, you're just being a pansy, but they skydive all the time, and then vice versa, it just doesn't make sense. So when we have problems or adversity that is brought up into our lives, we have to assess the situation and determine right then and there, and this is exactly what I do in every situation, or I try to, and I try to take that 100% ownership of my own life. And what I do is, in those situations, I think about myself and my thought process going on in that moment, and I say, this challenge that is coming to me in my life right now, is it because of some external force and I'm just a victim in this world, in this life, that I'm in? You know, is this problem is it just targeted at me and I have no option to do anything about it, and I'm just a victim in that situation, and I can't, you know, I could blame that problem that I'm having. Or I can take control of my life and I can say, I recognize that this is an issue. I recognize I'm having struggles with this, but I also recognize I am human and I am in control of my own life, my actions, my thoughts, my emotions. And if any of those things you're not in control of, you're right. Those things are controlling you. And that's what I have to reiterate to you is, who is controlling you? Are you in control of your own mind, your own self? Are you letting the world, the media, all these different influences control you? And I think you just really need to ask yourself, how can I be in control of my own life? And that's where the progress and the change comes from, to, you know, taking control and taking initiative and changing your life for the better. And you know, I don't know a person who says, I have everything great going on for me, I don't need to change anything, and they're super successful. All the successful people that I know and that I mirror and I look up to, I know for sure every day they're asking themselves, how can I be better? How can I be better so that I can help more people? And that's my end goal. I don't know about you guys. Maybe, you know, you're a little bit, you just want to focus on yourself and build your own empire just for yourself. So be it. You know, you're giving jobs, you know, whatever you're doing, you're helping the economy, you're helping others. And people might be watching you passively and you don't know it, but they're looking up to you, and you might be helping them. So every action, every post, every word, every thought you think has an influence on the outside world. So why don't you use those thoughts and influences positively to change the world for better? And it all starts with ourselves. You know, Michael Jackson said it best when he said, you know, you want to make a change, take a look at yourself. You know, and I think that's powerful. I don't think he just stumbled upon those words, right? And he just was like, oh yeah, that sounds good, let's throw it into the song. No, I think there's power and meaning behind it. And I think we got to look up to these people who, I'm not so much look up to them, but look at what they're trying to sell us, or what they're trying to get us to think. And if we're thinking these thoughts that, you know, give us this victim mentality, then I think that's not the right course of action or the right thought process. Because I mean, that's a slippery slope, and I've been there. I even do it, you know, I still do it to this day sometimes. I'm like, you know, my wife didn't do my clothes or something, and now I'm going to be late for this meeting. Well, in fact, I could have got up earlier, got the clothes done because I recognized they weren't done, and I could have solved that problem right there. And that's a very, you know, minor example, or very, you know, compared to what's going on right now, but on the grand scale of things, it's the same. You know, whether you decide or not decide to be a victim in that situation, the question remains the same. Am I a victim, or am I in control of my own life? Am I a victim, or am I in control of my emotions? The question remains the same. The choices are simple. It's never easy. Just like in entrepreneurship, it's simple. It's not easy. And I think that's the difference there. And I'm not trying to sell you on you know, not believing in what you believe in. I support everybody. I know, because life doesn't discriminate, and it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. You're going to have challenges no matter what you're doing. So people compare Donald Trump, they're like, oh, he was only given $1 million whenever he left his house, or whatever it may be. Yeah, but he still had to make something out of himself with that $1 million. I know a lot of people who were given that, if they were given that $1 million, it'd be spent in the first year, because they're not financially literate. He had to go out and make something of himself. Even the families that have the big wealthy empires built and they hand it off to their kids still have to manage that empire. Let's say their family dies, or they still have to do some kind of work, or learn how to keep up with the work that's needed, or to maintain that empire. You know, it just doesn't fall into their lap. No, they're going to make mistakes too. And so I think comparing somebody else's problems, again, in that situation, oh, they were born wealthy, so they don't have any problems. It's not true. That's why all these Hollywood stars that people are, oh, they have problems too. Yeah, they have problems. Everybody has problems. So it gets back to my original point. Empower yourself. I applaud people empowering others, and I applaud people trying to make a change for the better. I do. But I think what we should be doing is focusing on ourselves and trying to make a change for ourselves so that way we can help the many. And that's just my opinion. And you might disagree with me, and I'm completely fine with that. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's why we live in this great country. And for people to say, there's certain privileges to certain races or whatever, I think there's privileges to everybody in this country, because we get to speak out about the government if we like them, if we don't, without having to fear for our lives. We have the ability to walk down the street, say hi to our neighbors, and we don't have to say Kim Jong-un in every single sentence, and we don't have to worry about, there's just so much privilege of living in America in general. I mean, my mentor came from Vietnam, born in a mud hut, and is now a multi-millionaire. I mean, if that's not privilege or the rights to freedoms that we have in this country, I don't know what it is. And I think that's just powerful in itself. And for the men and women who died of all colors, all races and all genders, or both genders, man, that's powerful. I mean, this is a nation that many people have died to serve to protect, to give us these rights and freedoms, not so we could be victims in our lives, so we could take charge. And I don't know. I could express how grateful I am for those men and women, and also for the opportunity we have here in America, but I want you to see it for yourself. And that, hopefully, no matter where you come from or where you were born, or what color you are, because underneath we're all the same. And I said this in my Instagram story. Dr. Benjamin Carson, who is one of the people I look up to the most, read a lot of his books. He's one of the world's, if not the best, one of the world's best neurosurgeons, and he's a black neurosurgeon. And if you read his book or watched his movie Gifted Hands, you'd see that he came from a very poor background, a poor mentality, poor financially, and his mom had to work multiple jobs just to provide for him, and he was a very angry kid. And then here he is. He's now the most successful, if not one of the most successful neurosurgeons on the planet. And one of the things he said was, it doesn't matter who or what color they were when they came into the operating room. When he would peel the skin, he would cut open the skull, and he would look at the brain. Everybody's brain was the same color. And I was like, man, that's so true. Everybody's the same underneath. We're all made of the same organs. We're all made of the same colored organs, and it's just the different melatonin in your skin. And I just think it baffles me that people think there's such a crazy difference because of skin color, and there's not. And again, that's just my opinion. So anyways, I hope this video inspires you, motivates you, and the whole goal behind it was to try to get you to go out and just take charge of your life. It wasn't to minimize or to try to diminish anybody's current goals or objectives or what's going on, or undermine it by any means. It was simply pointed at you to try to change yourself, to make yourself better for yourself, right? And that's all I was trying to do. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it means a lot to you. It means a lot to me. Obviously I wanted to share it with you. And I hope it does change your life for the better, and I hope you do take accountability and ownership of your life, no matter where you're at, where you're from, what color you are. And let's go out and crush it together. So take care, do your hair.